Isabella Stewart Gardner's vision for her museum was that it was a total work of art. It was not a set of galleries that you wandered through to look at discrete pictures, but that it was a totality of an art installation, really. And so this creation then dovetailed with her extraordinary patronage of talent in America during her lifetime, which was late 19th century, early 20th century. So she always, in her museum, had artists, scholars, musicians, thinkers who were engaged in projects. As the museum has matured over these many years, I mean, she opened the museum in 1903. We celebrated the centennial in 2003. Over these many years, the museum has managed to maintain the collections, but it has struggled with the incredible increase in visitorship and in the kinds of services that visitors have come to need, whether it's a coat check or a restaurant. As the number of visitors has grown, and as the number of people working in the museum has grown, and as the number of programs have expanded to serve more people, the museum has been loved to death, is how I see it. And so we must either contract or get more space. The new building, it too should be a work of art. And that, however, this work of art would complement Gardner's creation, and it would rather bow to it, or as Renzo says, it would be the nephew to the grand aunt. And but that the new building would be the place where all the wonderful, messy things would happen, whether it was learning or performing or eating or just getting oriented to the collection or checking your coat. Those things would happen in the new building. One of the great pleasures in my life in museums has been to overhear conversations of a curator and a scholar, or to watch people conserving a painting, or to listen to someone practicing, to really get into the life of the museum. And so we've purposely worked with Renzo to design the possibility for the visitor to experience the museum at work, so that this liveliness of the work of the museum is transparent to the visitor. I think Isabella Gardner would love Renzo Piano. Of course, what's not to love with Renzo? He's an amazing man to work with. When he first came to the museum, the first time he entered it, he walked in, he looked at the court garden, he walked around to the West Cloister, he stood there and he said, "She was mad." And then he said, "I have to quit the job. Nobody can do this job. It's impossible." The trustees felt that he was the person who could most closely create a structure that would complement the Gardner. And his spaces, his treatment of light, his use of materials, the clarity within which he creates spaces, their proportions, the feel you have in them, are simply extraordinary. I think he's one of the great architects of our time. We were incredibly lucky to get him. Renzo says that buildings are all about emotions, which is an interesting idea. And we know buildings that we go in and we feel so much pleasure in the building, and then we know buildings that we go into and we just feel dead from being in the space. And so to be able to design a building for the public that will elevate their spirits, will make them feel strong emotions, is really important.